Hi everybody, it's me again. We had so much fun making the video last week, we decided to make another one. I really wanted to make this one in the field, but you know what, we're farmers and the best laid plans. What is the last part of the line to that anyways? The best laid plans, dot dot dot. Anyways, we tried to do it in the field and now we're doing it in the kitchen because I obviously been in the car. We were picking carrots today, and we've been picking carrots because we did a really good job growing carrots this year, and the weather cooperated as well. Carrots are one of our favorite crops to grow. They're a crowd pleaser. Kids like them. They're easy to just cut up and eat, which is awesome. They're also great in a salad, great in soups, great in stir fry, great roasted. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the carrot because I think they're such an awesome crop, and hopefully it'll help you appreciate them more. We grow carrots from seed in the ground. You can successfully transplant carrots and that like a plant will grow, but it's a tap-rooted crop. So if you imagine the soil level is here, the carrots are down here underneath, and because so much of the crop depends on this big taproot, you're not going to get a really great crop from a transplant. And you also need a really dense planting. We're planting our carrots at about 18 to 30 seeds per foot, depending on what variety we're planting. So that's a really difficult thing to do with a transplant. You can still buy them. People will grow them because people want them, but if you're buying those plants, you're not really setting yourself up for success. So we direct seed these. To have them all year long, we're planting carrots every 2 to 3 weeks, starting as soon as we can get into the ground in April. And then our last planting of carrots was on August 15th this year. The carrot that I'm holding now and the carrots that we've been putting into storage are our storage carrots. We grow specific varieties that take a little bit longer to grow, but they size up a little bit more and they have been bred deliberately to keep for a very long time. Carrots are what's called a biennial plant, or some people call them a winter annual. Basically, we take the teeny tiny little seed, and this is not carrot seed, this is bronze fennel seed, but it's in the same family, so I grabbed it from outside of my yard. They're in the Apiaceae family, or they're called umbels or umbelliferae, which if you think of the shape of the flower, it's kind of like an umbrella. Fennel's in the family, celery, parsnip, cilantro, dill, they're all related. They all have very similar flower types and they all have that taproot, which are kind of the defining characteristics. So you take these teeny tiny little seeds and they grow in the first year and they grow this beautiful taproot and they grow these beautiful leaves, and then winter happens and they're supposed to hunker down. So what a carrot is stored energy. It's pretty much what all food that we eat is, especially when it's a root or a seed or a fruit. It's stored energy, and then we're taking that and converting it into energy in our bodies. So carrots are really great as a winter crop because they're deliberately trying to survive the winter. So it's already built into their biology to last and last, whereas something like a head of lettuce, it's not meant to keep for a really long time. We can actually keep some winter heads of lettuce for fairly long, even up to 6 weeks in the right conditions, but something like a carrot can store for 6 months or longer. And this is a part of why in a grocery store you can get a carrot that's, close to a year old because it's been stored commercially in the right conditions. And just on that note, part of what we do is try to provide like the highest quality product possible, but the other side of that is the least environmental impact. So as New Englanders, we've chosen to live in a climate where having fresh food for half of the year is quite a challenge. So what we do as growers is we try to grow the highest quality product and store it and keep it in a way that's natural, low impact, and also gives you a really great food to eat. So we take this biennial carrot and we put it in a cooler and we store it at as close to 32 degrees as possible. Given our small scale, we usually keep it between 33 and 36 degrees. Really high humidity, we're looking for about 98% humidity, and usually we can get that just from like the moisture that's in the soil and in the carrots. So when we put it in, sometimes we'll add a little bit of water to the cooler to keep it moist, and then the carrots will just last, and that's a part of what keeps them firm is the moisture. So if you keep carrots in your fridge and you feel like they go soft, adding like a damp towel or something to the bag, that adds a little bit of moisture there, and that'll help keep them from becoming limp. If a carrot becomes limp, you can still cook it, which is really nice. Just chop it up and put it in the oven. I just wanted to show you this bag. This is the bags that we store them in. It's a perforated plastic bag. There's that plastic again, but It just does a really good job holding the moisture. There's still airflow from the little perforations. There's tiny little holes here. And yeah, that's carrots for you. So what makes them a biennial is, in terms of reproduction, if you think of the sole purpose of life is to keep reproducing more life, this carrot hasn't made any new carrots yet, and the only way for it to do so would be if it were planted in the ground the following year, and it would the chemistry within the carrot changes so that it actually starts to grow flower stalks as opposed to leaves. So you plant a carrot in the ground and it'll start to grow the flower stalks and it'll grow seeds. This isn't something that I recommend you do with any kind of random carrot. Carrot breeding is a really challenging process, so trying to grow your own carrot seed is next to impossible, especially in New England, because we have wild carrots. Queen Anne's lace is like virtually identical genetically to the carrots that we're eating, and so they will freely cross, and since bumblebees love them, they're just going to mix up. So I'm not actually saying you should plant your carrots, nor am I trying to make you feel guilty for disrupting the reproductive cycle of these carrots, because we grew these carrots so that we could eat them. So they are in this bag. We are actually renting cooler space at a farm in Franklin, so we're bringing them down to a cooler down there. The carrots that I have in this bag won't actually be enjoyed until January and February and March for our winter CSA distributions and our winter markets. But those of you who are getting a fall share, we're giving 2 bunches of carrots this week because we have so many carrots we're not going to have anywhere to put them, which is thanks to everybody involved. So I did the seeding, and I got the seed right this time, thank goodness. And then Kevin and Aaron, because we have no irrigation at our site, actually we have cube tanks that hold 275 gallons of water and a little pump and a watering wand and 900 bed feet of carrots. They drove the truck next to it and hand watered them to make sure the seeds germinated. And then it was hand weeding. On these guys, it was one hand weeding and then another, but we did a really cool thing where we stale seeded the beds. So we actually prepared the beds several weeks before we needed them, and we were able to then drive the tractor and just cultivate the very, very top and kill any weeds that had just germinated. So there's way less weed competition. And then after we seeded them, we flame weed. So we actually have a blowtorch, and we go and we blowtorch right down the row right before the carrots germinate. How we know they're about to germinate? 1, just because we kind of have done it for a little while, and 2, sometimes you just wait for 1 or 2 carrots to germinate as an indication of, oh, we better flame. And it saves so much labor to get that kind of weed management in before you go into hand weed that we usually don't forget to check every day whether or not a carrot has germinated, because once you miss it, you miss it. You can't use the blowtorch when your carrots have already started growing. So stale seed bed, flame weed, good seeding rate, watering in those carrot seeds, and then cultivation and hand weeding. A lot of work, but we are getting really great yields. We're getting about 5 pounds of carrots per bed foot, and that's 900 bed feet of carrots. So that's why you guys are getting 2 bunches of carrots in your share. Put them in a plastic bag with a little moist cloth. They're going to last for a really long time. Or make carrot soup, make carrot cake. Roasting carrots with shallots is really delicious. I had that the other night. They're carrots. You can use carrots. I don't know. I don't have any other great ideas right now at the top of my head, but...
Carrot corn dogs are crazy.
Oh, Kevin says carrot corn dogs. We actually had that at a vegetarian restaurant once, so I instead of a hot dog, use a carrot as if you were going to make a corn dog. It was actually really good. So yeah, that's it. I love carrots. I wish I was standing in the carrots and telling you this, but Kevin is going to cut in a few pictures so you can see. Kevin's just laughing at me because he went to school for this. He went to Emerson College, and he doesn't he's still shaking his head. I'm going to sign off now. Thank you guys for listening. And I hope you enjoy the share this week. Check your email for all the information about all the other vegetables. I promise your share is not like a 20-pound bag of carrots. Although that'd be a really good share still, right?